If you've been in multiple offer situations, especially if you've been in several of them, you've probably heard of the escalation clause. And if you just recently heard it, you might be asking yourself, what does that mean? Effectively, what the escalation clause does is it communicates to the seller what your ceiling price would be. And it really only makes sense in a multiple offer situation. You're trying to figure out what the other offers might look like, and you have a sense that they might be going over list price. Hopefully you can do as much digging as possible and you can come up with a pretty good idea of where that top price might be. But again, unless the seller or the listing agent actually communicate that price to you, which they shouldn't be doing, you can't figure out exactly what the ceiling price is on the overall buyer pool. So let's say you're looking at a $300,000 house. You hear that there are 8 offers in hand on the property. You're probably taking a guess that at least one of those offers is somewhere over list price. But again, it's impossible to be sure of that unless the listing agent or the seller directly tells you what that highest price is. You're willing to go over the asking price, but you don't want to just throw in an absurd amount that's $20,000 over the next highest offer. So your agent may propose that you attach an escalation clause. What this escalation clause would state would be something like this. My offer is for $300,000 with the option to escalate $1,000 over the next highest offer up to $340,000. So basically what you're saying is that your absolute max is $340,000, but you're willing to go $1,000 over any offer that's under that. So if somebody offers $329,000, you're willing to offer $330,000. However, if somebody offered $350,000, you're not willing to go to $351,000. You're maxed out at $340,000 and won't go any higher than that. So the great thing about them is that you kind of hedge your bet. You're willing to go $1,000 over the next offer, but you're not willing to just throw a $340 offer at them right off the bat. But that's where things can get a little bit foggy. The sellers are required to provide proof of that offer which forced your offer to escalate. And these offers are supposed to include like terms. Having said that, you do run the risk of a lack of transparency from the sell side. Sometimes you run the risk of there not being a true competitor for your offer, which forces that escalation. In the best case scenario, you're going to go $1,000 over the next highest offer and no more. But agents may come back and ask that you remove all escalation clauses because it can really just make that offer pool very foggy. So you really want to determine what your ceiling price is and just be aware that you may be escalated there. So again, it's a really foggy clause. But it's definitely an option. I've definitely had clients do it, and I've had listings that have received multiple offers with escalation clauses. So make sure you consult your agent and potentially an attorney before adding an escalation clause to your offer or before accepting an offer with an escalation clause.